Hello, friends, and welcome to the Homewrecker podcast, where we wreck and shatter conventional wisdom and ways of thinking by bringing alternative viewpoints and different subjects to light in an attempt to not only change the thoughts and feelings most people accept as reality, but to shatter them completely. I'm your host, former professional wrestler, the Golden Greek Alex Arion, and I'm joined as always by my beautiful, lovely, gorgeous, amazing wife and certified hypnotherapist. See, I have to say wife first. The lovely Monique.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic as always. I'm
Good.
sitting here and I still haven't memorized. I've tried, but I still haven't perfectly memorized the new show open that I'm doing here. And so I'm sitting here and I'm trying to read it off my phone, as people watching can see. And it started dimming because I get the stinking battery saver gimmick on. So it only stays lit up for a couple of seconds and then it starts to dim. So I'm sitting there like, wait, what am I saying? What am I saying? So anyhow, so what's new with you?
I'm actually happy, excited, and it's like the littlest thing, but I don't care. I'm going to share it with people. So, one thing that I do, and I bet a lot of people do this.
Wait,
What?
time out. You're happy and excited and you don't care. You're going to share it with people.
Well, it seems silly. I meant to say, like, it's probably silly, but I don't care. Sometimes words go in my head and I think it comes out my mouth and it doesn't. So, I apologize. Probably like the worst podcasting trait.
All right, then.
I got excited about something. Most people might think it's silly. I don't care. I'm going to share it. So I don't like having cameras being able to look at me on my computer and my phone. So on my laptop, I take a piece of paper and I tape it on. So when,
It's a pretty common thing.
yeah, because I don't want people like spying on me and being able to see me like type and have that horrible, like your phone. And like when you do like the reverse thing and like it's the worst angle ever and you're like, it just looks awful. I don't like that. So I try to cover that. Well, I thought there has to be a better way. There needs to be some kind of invention that you can just easily cover the camera and move it with ease.
The little piece of paper and tape wasn't enough
Well,
for
because
you.
every time I like lift up the paper and try to like tuck it in the back when I do need the camera, it eventually rips over time, the tape breaks, and it's kind of messy. So I thought there must be a better way, and I found it. So there are these nifty little gadgets that you can get online. And what it is for our watchers, it's like this little like sticky plastic tab that goes over your phone and allows you or your computer to slide this little part. So
Over the camera
over the
on your phone
camera,
or your
yes.
computer.
Sorry, over the camera. So you can slide. So camera, you can use it. It'll show you. You close it, they can't see you. And I have one on my phone and on my computer, and I like it. It's way easier than constantly taping a piece of paper over the camera.
Would you look at that?
Yes, I knew there had to be something, and I was right.
So I know that with these things, we don't use any of the facial recognition stuff. Like I don't do that Face ID nonsense. I turn all that stuff
Fingerprints,
off.
nothing.
Yeah, I turn all that stuff off on my phone. Thankfully, they still give you the option. Which one is this? This is the iPhone 11,
I
I
think
think.
so. We didn't
11
upgrade.
Pro or whatever. So I don't know what number they're up to now, but this is the one we have. And I've taken some of these apart, not this particular one, but models before. And I think I've taken apart like an iPhone X, the eights, the sixes, and the camera. The only camera is it's the piece that's in the front, and then also obviously in the back as well. So I've taken these apart and looked at them. Now, I could say that covering up that little piece in the front, that in the top there, you could feel, I guess, comfortable knowing that if it's covered, nobody can see you. Just because I've taken apart and looked inside, not newer phones or anything like that, but at the same time, I do have to say too that I don't know everything I'm looking at when I take apart the inside of a phone, and there probably are ways that they can actually use the screen to look at you or figure out what you're doing or whatever. I don't know that for sure. I'm just saying that this technology is it's so good And I'm sure that they've got tools and mechanisms and devices that if they really wanted to look at you,
Well,
if somebody in the government or wherever really took that much of an interest and wanted to look and see what you're doing, I'm sure that covering up this little tiny thing up here on the top is not going to stop them, but it might annoy them a little bit. So why not do it anyway? Why make it easy for
and I
you?
mean, they can still listen to you and spy on
Oh,
you,
of
but at least they
course.
can't see you from that awful like front camera view.
So you want them to be able to get a nice view of you, is what you're saying.
If you're gonna spy on me, I want to look good. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Look at that.
But
So
yeah,
there you
I
go.
was excited, so I got that. So now I keep the tab closed when I'm on my computer, unless we're using the camera. It's awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
I've got to still they're over on the table. I've got to put some on my devices as well, but I haven't got around to it yet.
And how about you?
Great.
How have you been?
Great. Fantastic. Did some shoveling today.
Woo!
That was lots of fun. Always loved the shovel. You know, we have a snowblower and I hate using it.
Yes, you do.
I'd rather shovel.
I don't mind shoveling as long as I'm not rushed. Like
Call
if
me
I
crazy.
can be outside, I like being outside. I don't mind the cold. It's good exercise. But I think that if I'm in a rush and I have to get something done, like right, like oh, I got a shovel and I only have 20 minutes to do it. I don't like that. I like to take my time.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Was an accident, by the way. I didn't mean to do that.
I'm like, why are you muting me?
I wasn't. I that was a complete total accident. I apologize.
You're like, Monique, shut up.
No,
I don't want to hear you talk
I
anymore.
muted myself because I had to kind of lightly cough, and I muted it because I didn't want to cough into the microphone, and I accidentally muted you.
He mutes me as I'm talking, and I stop like.
And I didn't realize it until I looked at you, and then I looked at. Oh, whoops! Sorry about that. My apologies.
Am I saying something wrong?
No,
I'm talking
not at all.
about shoveling.
No,
okay. No, I like being outside. I don't like being rushed, but when I can go outside and take my time and get it done, I actually really enjoy it. I like being outside. I don't mind. I usually hate the cold, but that's one thing I really don't mind.
Cool.
Yeah, I talk to nature.
I just like to shovel. Yeah, I don't know. I hate that darn snowblower. Would it make my life easier? Yes, of course, obviously. Would it make me have to work less hard? Yes, of course, obviously. But there's just something about that physicality that I enjoy still. And I figure, you know what? I'm going to keep doing it.
I will say the one thing I don't like about shoveling is when you have a lot of snow and the plows come by and all the slush and everything and it gets icy. And then getting like 3 feet of that trying to shovel because just that one part takes forever.
Yeah, that's aggravating.
Yeah,
But
you get it done. Builds character.
Sure.
That's what my parents used to tell me.
Really?
Yep.
They're not wrong.
I don't want to shovel. It builds character.
They're not wrong. They are not wrong. Yeah, I feel like we've gotten, and of course, this is my just way of saying, the hell with progression and technology. I'm gonna shovel and not use my snowblower, even though I have it. I guess I could probably pick my battles a little better, but I choose to just shovel.
We had a snowstorm one day, and I think we had like 3 feet of snow. Like it was blocking the door. There was so much snow.
Yeah.
And I was like, we should probably use the snowblower. There is a lot of snow. It's going to take forever. And I want us to spend time as a family. And you're like, no, we can shovel it.
Yep.
So we shoveled.
And what happened? We shoveled.
We did.
We got it done.
We did.
And listen, most of the time I'm the one doing it. I do it. I don't ask
because you don't even give me a chance to. I always say, I'll shovel. I want to shovel. And then you go, but you don't even give me a chance to do it. I like doing it.
Okay.
Like we fight over who's going to shovel. How crazy is that?
Noted. There you have it.
Yeah. So that's what's up with us.
Yeah, no, I mean, aside from that, not really anything else new that I can report. I mean, there's always stuff going on, but I mean, I don't keep up on anything happening with the news or anything like that because I don't really care. Yeah. So aside
we don't watch the news.
Yeah, don't really care.
Don't care.
So aside from that, yeah, shoveled. That's it. That's all that's new with me. So why don't we get into what we're
Yes.
going to talk about today?
Yes.
Shall we?
Let's do it.
All right. So we a couple weeks back did the 2022 prediction show.
We did.
So I thought it'd be a good idea if we came and looked back to see what you got right
Or wrong.
with your 2021 predictions from last year.
Mhm.
Or would it be 2 years ago now? Last
It
year.
was just
20
a little over a year ago.
2020. Did we do
I
it
did it.
at the end of 2020? Or we did it, right?
We did it at the end of 2020, beginning of 2021.
All right. And we did you pulled tarot cards again
Yeah.
for the year of 2021 and what was going to occur and happen.
Yes. So what I did was I did it for Karen Rontowski, Paranormal Karen podcast. She has an end of the year show where we do tarot predictions. And so I did that. But then I also pulled more cards for clarification because I only had like 10 minutes to get the information out. So it was pretty general. So I pulled more cards and we did a show where I elaborated more. So let's go over what I said.
Can we? Let's do it.
So I'm kind of going to start going from the beginning of the year, moving down towards the end of the year. So
I would hope that that's how you're going to start. What are you going to start in June?
I could.
I mean, what?
I'm just clarifying.
Yes.
So
let's begin at the beginning of the year.
I had
of
predicted
2021
that we will be in a weird state of rest, but it's more like a sedation. We are seeing what we are seeing, hearing, and being told is not what it seems. We are not seeing things as they are. Our people are not seeing things as they are because they're distracted or because they don't want to. And I quoted Mark Twain saying, it's easier to fool people than to convince them they have been fooled.
So what happened?
Well, one of the things that happened, interestingly, because I said this would happen in January, was January 6th, which just passed us as this episode comes out. I think it's what, the week before?
The quote unquote insurrection.
And I feel like the people who know it's bullshit and it's just another distraction know, but there's a lot of people who were really fooled and they're like, what, huh? And I don't follow Q or any of that stuff, but I've heard people talk about it and like that was a Q thing that was mentioned. And again, it's more distraction. Let's just distract the people.
There's so much just of everything.
It's like a magic show.
It's just so much misdirection.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So another thing I said was we will be trying to find ways to create. As people begin to wake up, they will see more possibilities. They'll question more and want to discover what is really out there. They want to find the truth of things. I also said there will be sides feeling defeat while others feel victory, and this may have to do with political divide. Those who are waking up will see that there is enough and will not live in fear of loss. So they'll realize there's no reason for insecurities, be it food, financial, anything like that.
So what happened?
So
I got to say something here. You're doing all the talking. Okay. So at least give me that.
Some of the stuff that happened, acquittal of Trump, Biden started his vaccination goal, pushing more Americans.
Acquittal of Trump. What was Trump?
He was, what's the word?
Oh, he was impeached.
Yes.
After he left office or something, right?
Yeah. I had to look stuff up because I couldn't even remember
that works.
last year. Biden pushed his vaccination goal. He wanted 200 million in the first 100 days of people to be vaccinated. There's also the George Floyd trial. So, I mean, when you look at those things, definitely obviously sides feeling victory and defeat. I think with the Trump acquittal, a lot of people questioning with that vaccination, people questioning with these goals, what's really going on? Is it really for our health or is there something else happening here?
Okay.
I also had predicted something major is going to happen, and this was for April. Everything's going to come crashing down. The division, the need for controls, the lies, all going to come crashing. The matrix will start to break. The balances will shift, and there's no more hiding from the truth.
So what happened?
Well, one interesting thing that happened was the Johnson & Johnson vaccine got pulled for blood clots.
Why do you say it like that? Like it's, oh, this got pulled for blood clots. Like, why?
I need to make it sound interesting, damn it.
Okay.
Biden announced he's pulling troops from Afghanistan. So
Okay.
I mean, again, I look at Biden just more distraction for stuff, but in terms of a major thing, at least for me, when the Johnson and Johnson vaccine got pulled because of blood clots, I feel like that really started waking people up. People started being like, "Oh wait, this isn't as safe as they're saying." So more eyes got opened because of it. Was it
Or that was pulled so people could gain more confidence in the two that were out there,
possibly, but that
or
might have
three or four.
backfired.
I don't
I
know.
don't know. So did something as major happen as I expected? Maybe not. But I did have people tell me that in April, when I said something major is going to happen on individual levels, lots of stuff happened in April for people. So take it as you will.
Great.
I had predicted that unity will bring everyone together, having them work for a common goal, which essentially is taking back what is ours. We've been lied to, and our powers have been taken from us. Those who did this were sneaky, clever, and crafty. I also said we're going to spring into action. We found our cause and we got to get to work. A possible war could be coming. We're standing our ground. We will no longer allow others to use and manipulate us as we stand up.
So what happened?
Well, the information war erupted with more people getting stronger and stronger with their beliefs. However, this happened on both sides. So, one of the wars, one thing people have mentioned about last year, it's like a war happened, but it was on social media for the most part, where people really clashed and disagreed. It's not a war, it's more of a social war than a war that we're used to.
A lot of censorship on social media as
Oh,
well.
yeah. A lot of people getting censored. All right, let's see. Another thing that I said was going to happen that I predicted is that those who are telling us everything everything that they're doing is for our own good are lying to us, and we're going to see it. Doctors, big pharma, governments, the powers that want to be. We're going to call bullshit on that. We're going to see it.
So what happened?
A lot of people noticed that athletes started dropping after they took the drink, interestingly enough. A lot of sporting events, soccer stars, all had one thing in common, dropping like flies. So take that as you want to. Again, opening eyes.
If that's real.
If it's real, that's true. I had predicted that we're starting a new cycle to go with nature.
So what happened there?
A lot of people began growing their own food. A lot of people trying to get land and grow their own food, like on their land, in their apartment, whatever they could do.
Terrific.
Yeah. I had predicted that with change coming, there's going to be confusion and frustration. There's going to be a lot of people who can't let go. They're going to be holding on to the old ways of thinking and greed. They're going to be afraid to move forward.
So what happened then?
One of the things that happened in that time was they announced the vaccine mandate, and you had the people who pushed back, the people standing up for what's right. And then you had the people who adamantly believed that that was the right thing to do because they can't let go. They need that control.
Okay. Well, let's get into more. But first, can we just take a quick break?
Yes, we
Okay.
can.
Let's do that. We'll be right back. Hearers, watchers,
Homewreckers.
like what you're hearing or watching so far and want even more Homewrecker content? Then check us out on Supercast, where you can get more exclusive bonus content starting for as little as $5 a month.
You'll get more of the content you love and also have access to exclusive episodes, listener-requested shows, watch-alongs, AMAs, plus special deals on Homewrecker Podcast merchandise and more. Visit homewreckerpodcast.supercast.com to sign up or click the link in our show notes.
We really appreciate your support.
We do.
So hit pause and go check out homewreckerpodcast.supercast.com right now.
Or click the link in the show notes.
Thanks. All right. We're back.
We're back.
So
All right.
let's
So
get back to this, shall
going
we?
into the end of the year, I predicted we're going to need to find balance, that each individual needs to work on finding their own balance to make it work for them. I had said that we understand we hold the power and we're able to yield it as we please. We're going to get confident in our abilities. I had said that we hold our knowledge and inner truths ready to take on challenges ahead. We're on stable ground, but are opening to learning and we continue to grow. And then I had also said that we're being called to locations that are in tune to our movement. So it's going to allow you to feel relaxed and in tune with the spirit you call home. You're surrounding yourself where you are and being able to recognize how the energy around you can heal and replenish you. Those who have elevated are moving on, leaving those who haven't behind. It's going to be difficult, but necessary. The path will be there for them when they're ready, but we can't take them all with us. There's going to be a lot of transformation. And it's going to be almost like we're living on two different timelines or planes of existence. While we're still living our lives together, it's going to be like two different planes of existence happening at once.
So what happened?
That happened. A lot of people started moving. They started moving to places where they felt more comfortable moving to. Also, pretty much everyone now is talking about how it feels like people we're all here, but we're living on two different timelines. We're experiencing two different realities at once.
It does seem that way, doesn't
It
it?
really does.
It doesn't.
So, with my tarot predictions, I just want to say that anyone can say, oh, well, based off what you said, because I try to talk about more spiritual stuff for that one. You can say, oh, well, you're just construing it to what you want. That's fine.
That's pretty much what all that stuff is, though.
I
For the
mean, in a
most part,
sense,
that's what anybody that's skeptical of it will say.
yeah.
So if there's no value that you can take from what is said, or any insight you can glean from what has been communicated, then okay. So go ahead, finish your thought.
No, I was going to say, as the Axl Rose says, take it for what it is.
Take it for what it is. Yeah, exactly. And but that's the thing. Any of this kind of stuff you can call hokum, hooey, whatever. And I'll be honest. I'm skeptical of a lot of this kind of stuff as well. You know that.
Oh, he is big time.
And I will say, oh, or it could just be this. It could just very well be this. You know,
Yeah.
I try to be not to be a jerk about it, even though sometimes I may come across that way. Like when it's just you and I talking, you'll say you don't have to be an asshole about it. I don't mean to be an asshole when I'm talking about some of these things or bringing up some of these points. I just like to try to look at things from as many different perspectives as I can, and I try to also make sure that I'm trying to put myself in the place of others and other viewpoints. I try to be as objective and as I can be, especially with things that are subjective, if that makes any sense.
But that's how it should be. I even look at it. It was my tarot reading, my predictions. And I try to even look at it with a skeptical eye. I mean, I do have to say I nailed the end of the year.
Yeah, but
I nailed that.
You got that for sure. I will
But
say that for sure.
yeah.
But I mean, as far as all the other stuff that happened, like with the, I call it the drink. You could call it all kinds of other things, but I try to call it I just call it that because of censorship and that kind of thing. But I mean, anybody with two working brain cells still left in their head knows what we're talking about.
We should make up a new word for it. Like
The
we should call it,
tango, the salsa.
we should call it Mr. Boogity.
I mean, it's the censorship thing though. I think it is that right there shows you that there's obviously something going on. If anybody that is skeptical, I doubt anybody listening to us is skeptical, but if you have friends or family who are still skeptical or who are still not waking up to the fact that there's something up here, there's probably, I mean, you never want to give up hope, but it's probably best to just kind of move on and count your lot, count them as a loss now at this point, because with everything that's happened, I don't know what else it's going to take to get people to wake up and see what's really going on and what's at foot here. But
one of the things that I did mention in that tarot prediction, I didn't mention it going over everything because it was more like advice, was for those light workers, for the healers, for those who are more awake to what's happening. I kind of hate using oh awake, but it's the term that
Give
people
me give me some
identify.
yeah, give me something better to use and I will.
But more open to the deception that's going on. Can't get frustrated. I gave the advice. You can't get frustrated because people are only going to accept help when they're ready to. And that is their own path. And you got to let them walk that path. You can't walk it with them all the time. So don't get frustrated. So that was one of the things I said. And, I found myself having to take my own advice. Don't get frustrated. You can only say I told you so many times to some people.
It is difficult to not get frustrated, and it's easy to say don't get
Yeah,
frustrated, but I mean, obviously you're human and everybody else is human, and that is a human trait, getting
Mhm.
frustrated when you are seeing something so clearly and your perception of something is so clear, and you feel in your soul, you feel in your being that you are correct, that you are right, and that you are trying to convey what you know to be fact and truth, your truth, to somebody else, and they are just not seeing it, and they're looking at the same thing you're seeing. It's maddening. It can be, for sure. So
One thing that just kind of popped in my head as you were saying that, thinking about, because, everyone thinks that their side is right. But I guess the question is, are you able to look at that information without emotion and still feel that way? Can you move your emotion aside? Because I think a lot of times people's emotions hinder their logic and their reasoning because there's just so much emotion in controlling everything. So if you kind of move your reactions aside, so yeah, we get frustrated, but I can be able to just be like, wow, calmly looking at it. Okay, I still feel this way. Emotions removed, but like, can everybody do that? I wonder.
it's difficult to, especially because everything that we are bombarded with is designed to get emotional reactions from us. And anytime you get emotional, it clouds your judgment.
Yeah, it
100%
does.
clouds your judgment because I mean, look at just the way, for example, news shows, like the talking heads on news shows. Those people are either side, whoever you're for, whoever you're against, whatever side you're on. If you're into politics, those people are, their sole job is to go on there and piss off the other side. That's their job. That's what
It's
they
two
do.
sides of the same
So
coin.
exactly. So it's anything that, if you watch news or that kind of stuff, that's what you're getting.
Yeah.
You're getting bombarded with people that are pissing you off. You're getting bombarded with information that pisses you off or scares you. Very rarely is it to make you happy, very rarely. So when you're constantly being bombarded with that and you're emotional all the time and you have this fear or this anger, for some people anxiety, yeah, it's going to cloud your judgment. It's going to be difficult. It's going to frustrate you when people don't see things your way. So what do you do?
Turn off the TV and the
Well,
radio.
for starters,
Go
you
for a
turn off
walk
the
in nature.
exactly. For starters, you unplug.
Yeah. Get off your phone.
As hard as it is to do that,
Yeah.
and it is difficult,
And just think about
but it's
things.
possible. It's possible. You remove yourself from the situation, and
I mean, I look at things and I stop and I question, like, could I be wrong? Could I be looking at this the wrong way? Could, could these other people be right? And I really try to look at the other side. I look at the information. It just doesn't make sense to me. And it gives me that gut feeling inside like it's wrong. And for so long, I was programmed not to go with my gut. Every time I tell somebody, like, I like what my gut feeling was, they tell me I was wrong. After a while, I just stopped saying things. I kind of like, I'm going to keep my mouth shut. And it made me question it. And it took a while to get back to trusting my gut and be like, no, my gut's right, at least for me. So I try to look at it like, could I be wrong? But at the end of the day, and I tell everyone this, what does your gut say? Not your mind. not your emotions, but your gut feeling. That's all you can
It's
do.
usually, and it usually it's your first instinct before you have it even a chance. And that's the thing is a lot of people have a difficult time recognizing that gut instinct.
Mhm.
I'm guilty of that myself, and that's something I work on too. But essentially, it's when you first hear something or see something. What's that initial reaction before you have a chance to think? If you have that initial reaction, usually it does. They call it the gut feeling because that's usually where it comes from down here in the stomach. Usually, you get that feeling and you can sense it. You can sense that something's not right. It's just, it's in us
Yeah.
as humans, at least as of right now. I don't know in 10 years what's going to have happened to humans, but as of right now, it's still there for most of us.
I want to share a story because what you said made me
Sure.
remember something. So I'm really good at telling when people are lying to me. I don't always call them out on it. Sometimes I try to give them like a chance to, be like, well, maybe there's a reason why they're lying.
Can you tell when
Maybe
I'm lying to you?
you don't lie to me.
All right.
I can tell when my kids are lying to me.
Oh, yeah, that's easy.
But no, but I would have people lie to me and I know they were lying. I could feel it inside and I knew it. But then I'd stop and say, why would they lie to me? This is the stupidest thing to lie about. To lie about this would be just ridiculous. Why would they be lying? And it's stuff like that. Yes, they were lying and I knew it, but I allowed my mind to convince me otherwise, try to rationalize it. I knew. I knew right, boom, right away. But I tried to convince myself that it wasn't true.
And I think a lot of it, for me anyway, and probably for a lot of people, it comes with experience. You start to realize with experience and with age, I guess, uh, you start to realize that yeah, you should trust yourself more, regardless of what anybody else says. I do think, however, that a lot of that will come to people if they do stop bombarding themselves with all these exterior distractions like cell phones, social media,
Mhm.
playing video games, or watching the news, or even not even just watching news, but like binge watching Netflix shows or whatever. I think that if you take more time to be alone or be away from outside distractions, and when I say be alone, I don't mean like meditate, but although that's a great thing to do, a great practice to take, even just going for a walk by yourself or with your kids or your spouse, significant other, if you start doing that kind of stuff, you'll start to develop and get back some of those things that you just forgot you had. Because we've all had these things. When we were kids, most of, especially those of us who are older than 30, I guess you could say, we before social media and all that kind of started becoming so prevalent in society, we all had these things. We all knew these things. This is like a recent phenomenon where people have kind of started to almost become non-human, if you will, with their interactions and with their emotions and everything. It's like we've forgotten collectively who we are and what we are about. I mean, obviously, it was happening to some extent before social media and cell phones and all that, with television and movies and everything. But still, it's been ramped up big time now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a matter of you just got to kind of unplug your from this stuff. And I'm not saying completely forget it, never do it, or anything like that. I'm not trying to preach that. What I am trying to say is put it down once in a while and take some
Walk
time for
away.
yourself. Walk away, especially if you find yourself getting upset. I tell this to my kids if they're playing a video game. You're playing a game. You're getting upset at a game. For what? Well, I lost. What did you lose? You didn't lose anything except for your time, your patience, and your emotions. That's what you lost. You
Yeah.
lost control of your emotions. Put it down and walk away. So just do that with with anything
Yeah.
else that gets you upset, and just take some time for yourself. Go walk outside for 10 minutes, cool off. Say, what the hell am I getting upset about? I'm telling you it works because I do. That's what I
Yeah.
did. And then in time for me, it turned into I don't want to go on this very often because it just gets me upset. So why? Why am I going to
Mhm.
do that to myself? So anyway,
And speaking, we're talking about tarot predictions. You often get downloads, and it's just information that comes to you, and it kind of hits you like, whoa, and you got to write it all out. And so you got a really good one. And I want you to share this with everybody.
yeah. Look with the downloads thing. This is like a newer thing for me. It's like a recent thing for me.
It's been like the past, what, year?
Yeah, year and a half.
Yeah.
And if you would have told me this years ago, I would have said like, okay, sure, yeah, downloads, yeah, gotcha, thumbs up, okay, buddy, whatever. What are you smoking? Can I
What
can,
opium den are you hanging
can
out
I
in?
can I
Yeah.
have some of what you're having, please?
Yeah.
Because whatever. But until it first happened to me, and when it happened, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? What the hell is going on with me right now? And I just had to write what was happening in my head. It was like I was getting this information and putting these pieces together, and like it was all just like boom, here you go. And it was not. I wasn't looking for this information. I wasn't looking at something. I wasn't thinking about anything. It just popped in my head, like. I've tell you sometimes I get that ringing in my left ear,
Mhm.
and it's just I don't know what it means. But it's like very distinct ringing in my left ear. And you're the one that said, "Oh, you're getting a download." Like, what does that fucking mean? Like, I'm getting a
The
download. What is
universe
that?
is bringing you information.
Again, me being skeptical guy. I'm like, I'm getting okay, sure, I'm getting a download or whatever. But yeah, I get that. And then usually within a couple of days, that's when all of a sudden this like thing happens in my head. I'm like, well, I got to write this down. What the fuck? What? And it's all coming to me, and I'm just writing as it's coming into my head, and it's incredible. Because like I said, until it happened to me, I thought it was crazy. So you want me to get into the thing that just happened last night, right?
Yeah, I want you to share this with everyone
All
because
right.
I was like, fuck.
I will share with you in a minute. Let's take a quick break.
Okay.
I'm just gonna wet my whistle here, get a little drink, and we'll be right back, and we'll get into it.
Many people are unaware just how much hypnotherapy can help them, or think it's only to help lose weight or quit smoking. But there is so much more hypnotherapy can do. It can help with stress, anxiety, insomnia, phobias, performance enhancement, connecting with your spirit guides and higher self. You can even discover past lives and your life between lives. Heal traumas, break habits, find your deepest truth, or just have fun discovering who you really are, all from the comfort of your home. I'm Monique Pliakis. I'm a certified hypnotherapist, and I want to help you. Schedule a free consult by going to www.innerstandingshypnosis.com. That's INNERSTANDINGSHYPNOSIS.com. Understandings Hypnosis. Find your power and ignite your inner light.
All right, we're back. So now, you want me to get into this now?
Yes.
All right. So I'm just gonna read as I wrote it, and I wrote it, and then the first thing I grabbed my phone, and I just the first thing that was on my phone that was open was a text message to you, like my text message thing, and you were right there on the top. So I just hit your name and I started typing because I didn't want to. I had to get it out of my head as it was happening. 'Cause I didn't want to forget it as it's coming to me. I'm like, I got to get this out. Like, and we were watching a movie with our kids, and so I didn't want to just stop the movie and tell you, oh, this is coming to me right now. I'm getting this like crazy information that's popping into my head. So I had to get it down, and I wrote it, and then I just texted it to you. So here's what it is. I'll read it and then we can talk about it. Our society is run by magicians, people that make you see what they want you to see, believe what they want you to believe, do what they want you to do. The trick to all the magic is that they've gotten you to think you have free will. They've gotten you to think you have choices. They've gotten you to think that you have options. They've gotten you to think you can control your own life. Their theater, their show is this reality, this matrix. They'll never be caught and they'll never stop because their goal is total control and enslavement of humanity. And people like that with goals like that have thought of everything. No one knows who they are because they've gotten everyone to think they know who they are. They're brilliant. They've been patient and meticulous. They've been plotting and planning this for generations. They've now gotten so good that they have the majority of society fooled. Epstein, the Clintons, Gates, Schwab, the Illuminati, the NWO. Yeah, that's who they want everyone to think it is. The truth is, we'll never know. They're too embedded. They're too far into their plan that anyone who's alive today has been compromised. We've all been born and programmed by their media. We've all read books, listened to the radio, watched sports, movies, news, been to schools, churches, or been raised and taught and observed people who were. Our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, and 2 or 3 generations before is when it started. So now there's no one who can ID them because they're too far into their plan and the programming is complete. Some of us become self-aware and know something isn't right, but anytime we look to figure out who to focus our attention on, we have Illuminati, politicians, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, etc. to look at. We'll never know the real culprits. In the meantime, even those of us who have figured it out, we're still part of the show, still watching, still participating, still searching for answers that we'll never have because they don't exist anywhere that we have access to really find them. So what can we do? Well, if you really want to do something, you have to realize that in your lifetime, it's probably not going to crumble down. You're going to have to realize that it has to be unraveled the same way that it was built, slowly. You're going to have to educate and help enlighten people to their true power and their worth. You're going to have to start using the parts of the system that you can still work with and accept. You're going to have to slowly change those systems and turn them to the people's advantage, not the systems. That's if you can get enough people to wake up and want to leave the show. You're going to have to realize and accept that most people today don't want to leave the show, the Matrix, because they're comfortable. It's all they know and they don't want to leave. They want to see how the show ends. Spoiler alert, everyone dies at the end. Question is, do you choose to die in the theater or in reality? What else can we do? We can analyze symbols, read old texts, learn numerology, astrology, look to and learn nature, observe nature and the natural order of things. There, you may find actual truth. You'll definitely find more answers there than on the internet or in books. But how do you not continue to be part of the show? How do you begin to live your own life? How do you begin to exit the matrix and become truly free? You learn the systems inside and out. You teach those systems to your family, friends, loved ones. You learn to become self-sustainable. You learn to not give your money and, most importantly, your attention to the show. You leave social media. You buy land and raise and grow your own food. You educate your children at home. You teach them the systems and how they're run. You teach them to exist both inside and outside of it, and to only participate in the parts of the system that are to their benefit. You teach them how to think, not what to think. You teach them their rights, educate them that they are free and can only voluntarily give their freedom up. You keep them away from video games and other attention and energy draining activities that serve no purpose other than to take one's precious time and energy. You start to go back to nature, slowly, gradually, as it was taken from us that way. You be patient because your enemy is patient. You become smart and maintain and retain your self-awareness because your enemy has done the same. You respect your enemy because what they have pulled off deserves respect. And now you slowly make them respect you. Get creative, be expressive, oppose tyranny and anyone or anything that challenges that. Be open to and exchange ideas with others who are like-minded. Build alliances, build and strengthen your families. Stand up when you see an injustice. Defend others who do the same. Work on waking more people up. Oppose censorship. Be an example for others of what is right, what is true, what is real. Deep down inside, we are born knowing the difference. We know and can recognize what's true and right. But we must do that now. We must do that before the inversion of truth and decency and what is natural has been completely reprogrammed into society. We see it has begun in the past few decades, but it is a generation or two away from being complete. Interrupt that process now to have a fighting chance. Above all else, get and stay healthy. Without your health, you have nothing. No amount of money or power can buy you health. Build and strengthen the mind, body, and spirit. Become superhuman. Become the best you that you can be. And to paraphrase the late Leslie Nielsen from the movie Airplane, quote, "Good luck. We're all counting on you." End quote.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm going to breathe. So yeah, that
And I can't
just
disagree with it.
that just came to me. It came to my head, and like I don't know. I don't know where it came from, but it just all like poured out of me, and I had to get it in onto something so that I could remember it, because it really, and I've seen this question asked in the past. Well, who's they, and what do we do? And people looking for answers, and that's just human nature. We want to belong to something. We want to have somebody to point the finger at, and I think that's part of playing their game. I really do. I really think that that's part of playing the game. And when I say it doesn't matter what you look for as far as information, whatever information you think you may have, and yeah, of course, you're going to find, trails that lead to certain people and corporations or whatever. But I really think that the true culprits of whatever is happening, we're never going to know, because there's probably a bunch, and they're not going to put their information out there. It's not going to be out there to be seen. It could be anonymous, because that's how you pull the strings. That's how you're the wizard behind the curtain at Oz.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody sees you. They just hear a voice, a big booming voice.
What you said is how it's going to take time to kind of go backwards from everything. It's true, because think about just in how many years we've been working on unlearning things that we've learned, deprogramming what we've been programming.
Yeah.
And even we slip from time to time, falling back into those old ways because it's what we know. And that takes time. It takes time to do that. And then especially if you have kids, to do that with your kids and get them in the right mindset of how to establish change. So stop playing video games. To take your video games away from your kids, like, that's going to be tough. You got to do it a little over time, like slowly for most people. I think there are some kids who are like, okay, whatever, but get to the point where we're not giving our kids video games anymore. We're not on social media. We're not watching the news. We're not involved in their bullshit. And it's going to take time.
Yeah. And again, I think that when I said we're not going to ever find the information because it's not available for us to find, I think that's true. I think if you want real, true answers, and they're probably not even there either. Who am I kidding? The Vatican Library, right? Who can get into the Vatican Library? Very few people are allowed in there. I think maybe they might have real answers, and maybe that's a possibility, but I don't think you're going to find it doing research on the internet or even old library books or anything like that. I think that anybody, if, and this is a big if, my gut is correct, this is not something that you're ever going to find the answer to. I think truthers and conspiracy theorists and people like that, which I myself would count myself among people like that, even though I don't like to go on social media or anything like that. I think I myself was a rabbit chasing my own, or not a rabbit, a rat chasing my own tail, looking for answers and looking to find things. And it's a quest that's never going to end. You're never going to get the answers, and it's by design. It's by design. We have boogeymen who we can point our finger at and go, it's them. It's that family. It's that corporation. It's that politician. It's the group of them. It's the cabal. We have boogeymen. We have it. We have our target because we're meant to have a target. Just like I'm sure you've heard the term controlled opposition. You don't think that they've thought of everything? The only way to win at this game is to not play it. That's it. Don't give it your attention. Start removing yourself from it. Get up from your seat, turn around, and walk for the exit. Exit. And it's going to go against everything you've ever known, everything you ever were raised with, everything you've ever been brought up to believe in. That's all going to go when you exit, because now you're going to be by yourself. You're going to be self-sufficient. Society is going to deem you an outcast. Oh, no. But you'll be free. Your thoughts will become your own thoughts. Your deeds will become your own deeds. Your motivations will become your own motivations. Your purpose will be your purpose, not what's been programmed into you by society, by parents, by school teachers, by celebrities on TV, by athletes you may have idolized growing up. They'll become your own. The only way is to exit. That's it. And to build and strengthen your own family, your own community of like-minded people, because let's face it, it's going to be difficult to do it by yourself. You're going to need people with you to help you. That's the only way you win. And people that say we got to take the whole system down, we got to crash it all down. That's one way of doing it, I guess. But do you really think that hasn't been planned and accounted for? Do you really think there aren't contingency plans in place for that?
Well, I feel like it's the long game. They've been playing the long game, so we have to start playing the long game.
You got to play the long game too. If you want to play the game, you got to play it long. And don't play their game. And when I say learn the systems inside and out and learn how to exist inside and outside the system, there's ways of doing it. There's people that are doing it. Yeah. You just have to start looking for those people. And there are a lot of resources out there that can help you to do just that. But you have to really sit and ask yourself, do I want to make that sacrifice? Because that's what it is going to entail. Lots of sacrifice, loss of comforts,
and work,
loss of things that you are used to and accustomed to, that you expect, that you thought for your whole life you couldn't live without. You're going to have to start living without some things. But it's like anything else. Can it be done? Of course it can be done. You just got to decide that you want to do it. And I guarantee, just like anything else in life, if you work hard and you are consistent with it, I say this to anybody that follows my fitness stuff, consistency is key. It's not so much discipline and motivation, it's consistency. You have to make up your mind and then be consistent with your daily actions until you achieve your goal. or you get close to achieving your goal. And it's good to have goals and create goals because that's just how the mind works. It's good to shoot for something, but you can't just settle and stop when you've gotten that something. And when you get close to that something, you start setting more goals for after it so that you can continue and keep on going and keep moving. You need to have a purpose. You need to have something to shoot for. So if that's, well, I want to buy a house or I want to buy land and start a farm. Okay, some people, that may be their goal, and that's a fantastic goal. That's a great start right there. If you don't have money, what do you have to do? You got to make money, right? So you got to still be in the system. But now you know you're in the system, and now you're going to start having the system work for you rather than you work for the system. Now you're working, but you're not working because you're going to go buy a new big screen TV or buy the next PlayStation or Xbox that comes out or whatever, or the next or buy a big supercar or whatever. No, now you're going to save your money and you're going to buy land when you have enough. And you're going to build a farm and you're going to get a horse and you're going to get a couple of cows and some chickens and some goats. And you're going to learn how to garden and you're going to do those kind of things. You're going to use the system until you don't need the system.
Makes sense to me.
So anybody that's been asking the question, how do we get them? What do we do? You do that. You don't give them your time. You don't give them any more of your money, and you don't give them any more of your attention, because that, ladies and gentlemen, is what they want more than anything. They want your attention, because when they have your attention, that's when they can start fucking with your head. That's when they can program you, propagandize you, manipulate you, coerce you, get you to do what they want you to do. And then you're not free anymore. We talk about the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence. What are those? They're what I'm holding in my hand right now. They're old pieces of paper with words on them. What do they mean? Well, they're a symbol, right? There's something that people can look at and refer to. But really, if you don't look at this piece of paper, the Constitution, never mind the visual piece of paper I'm holding,
As it hits the guitar.
If you don't adhere to it, or if you're willing to give up those rights, you think somebody's going to fight for you? Of course not. And I got news for everybody. Just because we have a constitution doesn't mean somebody in Africa or Australia or England or Canada or Mexico doesn't have the same exact rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Okay? We all are born with those creator-given rights, whether it's God, source, or whatever. We are not here to give other people dominion over us and our choices. That's not why we're here. We're here, I believe, I feel, to marry, to have children, to experience the joys, emotions, the ups and the downs of life, so that our souls can then, when we're done here, move on to the next realm, to the next level, to whatever is next. That's why I feel we're here. We're here to carry on and mingle amongst ourselves, to get along, to be merry, to be happy. Yes, we're going to experience loss with death, relationships that go south, and that kind of thing, of course. But that's part of the ride. We're not here to be scared of things. We're not here to be afraid and angry all the time. We're not here to fight and bicker and argue with each other and beat each other's throats. That's not why we're here. But damn it, that's what happens. That's what especially has happened in the last 25, 30 years.
Yep.
So get up, locate your nearest exit, and walk the fuck out of it. That's it. That's all I got. I wasn't trying to get applause, but that's all I got. I've got nothing else to say
Yeah.
about the matter.
Well, I think you've said enough.
I think that's it. So
People ask what to do. Well, there you go.
that's what you do.
But I look at it like, how many people still aren't going to do that?
Most are not going to do that. And we still do this show, and we still have social media accounts, and we still, I occasionally will go on there. Most of the time it's to retweet something that you may have tweeted.
Mhm.
You run the Homewrecker podcast account. You're on there doing all the interaction there, because I just don't
The
like
irony, I hate social media.
and it's not, I believe me, I love the connections
Yes.
with people that we've made through there. That social media can be good.
Mhm.
It's just that there's so much negative on there that it for me personally, it's too frustrating to wade through the negativity to find the small amounts of good that are there. And believe me, though, those amounts of good, those little small nuggets of good that are there are phenomenal.
But it's not just that. It's a time suck. It's wasting your time when all you do
That's
is
the big
sit
one.
there and scroll through shit.
That's the
So
big one.
it is a time suck. What can you be doing with that time?
Exactly.
Could you be learning to do something to be more self-sufficient? Could you be doing something positive for yourself? What are you doing?
Yeah, that's the big one.
You could be going out
Time
in
suck.
nature and learning to listen to yourself.
Pick up a
Learning from
guitar,
nature, yeah.
learn to play an instrument if you've always wanted
Yeah.
to. There's so much. I mean, that for me is a big one. Music is so just it's fast. It's amazing, and it's amazing that well, not amazing that it's been co-opted by big government and big business and corporations. It's obvious that it would be, because it's so impactful. But music, if you learn to play music, you can find just so much freedom and joy just in that.
And you don't need to know an instrument to play music. You can sing.
Sure. Why
Yeah.
not? I sing
Your
all the time.
voice is an instrument.
Yeah,
Fuck, I love singing.
I
I
sing
don't
all the
care if
time.
people think I
And
sound good or not.
it's horrible.
No,
It's
I
no,
meant,
no. It when I say horrible, I mean it's not like it's some artistic.
it's not like an
You know, it's
opera
not like
singer.
it's not like poetry or anything. It's like I will make up like just raunchy rhymes, and
You
I will sing
do.
them. Obviously, when the kids are not around, but I will just sing raunchy stuff, because I still have that little 10-year-old in me that thinks it's funny.
Yeah.
And
I love just making up random songs. Like I sing to the cats. I sing to my coffee. I don't care. When I'm outside, I sing to the trees. I go outside and I sing to my plants, my indoor plants. I sing to them and they love it.
all right, there you
Just saying, sing to your plants, people.
go. Okay, so
Throwing that out there.
so that's what we've gone
Yeah,
to.
sorry.
from
Sorry, I just kind of went
from
off
this-
on a different
from this
thing.
weird, crazy download that I got, but it brought it was actually, it was almost like clarity for me, because like, yeah, that's what needs to be done. People that are asking the questions, I mean, I really feel that the conspiracy theories and the truthers and all that stuff, I feel like that is the powers that want to be. I feel like that was that's that information that we find. I feel like that was put there for the awake and aware, to give them something to chase, to give them something to go after, to keep them busy and occupied, thinking we're getting the truth. We're going to find the truth. We're going to get
We're getting
to it.
somewhere.
We're going to get to the bottom of this. I'm going to be the one that figures it out. Our ego gets in the way there, right? That comes into play. I'm going to be the one. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to bring them down. I'm going to be the big bad guy that brings the truth to the masses and whatever. The only way to win, get out. Just get out. Because you can. You do have that choice. It's still an option. It's one that we're never, ever considering. We're never thinking of, because we've been programmed not to.
That's one thing I always tell people. You have an option. You might not like the choices, but you have a choice. If somebody has you at the edge of a cliff and they say, jump or I'll shoot you, you might not like the choices, but you can jump, you can get shot or do something else. The choice is yours. And I think we're at the point of we need to do something else.
Yeah, I'm with you. So, just some food for thought for everybody out there, especially those that have been wondering, well, what do we do?
There you go.
There you go. So until next time, thank you very much, everybody, for spending your time, your energy, listening, and entertaining our thoughts. We really, truly appreciate it. So until next time, I am the Golden Greek Alex Arion, joined as always by my beautiful, lovely, gorgeous, amazing, certified hypnotherapist, my lovely, beautiful wife, Monique.
And you've been listening to the Homewrecker podcast.
We love hearing from and interacting with our hearers and watchers. Feel free to reach out to us on Twitter
At Homewrecker Pod.
You can also visit our website,
homewreckerpodcast.com,
where you can check out past episodes and pick up some Homewrecker podcast gear from our online store.
Also, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe or follow button wherever you're hearing or watching our show. That way you can be notified whenever a new episode drops. We're on all major podcasting platforms, and you can check out the video versions of our show at YouTube and Brighteon.
You can also find Monique in a few places online as well.
I'm on Twitter @_MoniqueGiselle_. If you're interested in a tarot reading, organite, incense, candles, and other cool things, you can go to my website, tarotbymonique.com. Or if you're interested in hypnotherapy, you can go to innerstandingshypnosis.com to schedule a free 20-minute consult. And follow me on Twitter @MoniquePCHT. And Alex, how can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter @TheAlexArion, and you can check out my website, AlexArionFitness.com.
And if that's too much to remember, we get it. That's why we put it all in our show notes.
Thanks for spending your time with us, and we appreciate all of your support.
We do. Thank you. We love you.